Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well, and today we're going to talk about a stock that a lot of you guys have been requesting recently, and that is Palantir, stock ticker symbol PLTR. I haven't spoken about it in a while on my channel, but today we have some important updates, important things to go over with the company. They signed a number of big contracts recently, one for $8 million, another one for $22.5 million. They also got a huge price target upgrade from a major analyst. So we're going to go over all of that and more in today's video. And if you like this sort of content, you want more, well then it would really mean a lot if you could like the video down below, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified when I post new videos, and comment down below if you own Palantir or if you think it is going to drop. For those who are new here, my name is Michael. I'm 21 years old, an entrepreneur and investor, and last year our public portfolio, which is currently sitting at $575,000, was up over 105%. This year we're trying to get that account to $1 million. We're well on our way, and if you'd like to see what stocks I'm buying and what stocks I'm selling in this $500,000 account, you want exclusive content that I don't share on YouTube, pre-release access to my new show called The Stock Room, where I talk about stocks with my 80-year-old friend who's a millionaire investor and entrepreneur. And if you want access to our Discord channel, then make sure to join the group using the link down below. We do have limited number of spots. So anyways, for those of you who aren't familiar with Palantir, Palantir is a big data company that also works in cybersecurity. They've been securing a number of government contracts, a number of large contracts over the past 6 months. They recently IPO'd, and their stock has been doing very well. Palantir's business model is essentially they are analyzing big data, and they are focused on securing large contracts. Most of the contracts they secure are multi-year agreements. Today I'm going to go over two specifically that they just secured in 2021, as well as a price target upgrade. But essentially, right now, companies are getting better and better at collecting data, and data is the future. With all companies, however they're going to improve their business, they're going to have to do this through analyzing the data they collect from their customers. Whether they're selling clothing and they need to figure out which customers are buying more and how to target them, or if they're a government organization, need to figure out how to distribute the vaccine for the virus. Whatever it is, data is essential. All companies need to use it and maximize it in order to generate as much revenue as possible and succeed in the future. The one problem is that a lot of companies struggle to connect the data that they're collecting with actually results and using it. They're able to collect the data easily, but they're not always efficient at using the data and knowing what to do with it. And that's where Palantir comes in. That's where they step in. Some major contracts I want to point out before we get into the new ones with Palantir is that they did secure a contract with the FDA. They are also partnered with the World Food Program and the U.S. Justice Department. On top of all this, they're working with the U.S. Special Forces, and they have a lot of government contracts in place, not just with the U.S., but also in the U.K. and around the world. So that's something I really like about the company. On top of all this, their revenue has been growing significantly, and even though the revenue is growing and their company is growing very rapidly, they're still able to maintain a 69% margin, which shows you how strong the company is, because a lot of the times when companies start to scale up, things start to fall apart a bit, and their margins decrease significantly, but not with Palantir. And finally, with Palantir, before we get into the new contracts, is that the average revenue per customer for Palantir increased 38%, and from $4.2 million to $5.8 million per customer. So you can see, obviously, they're huge contracts that they're doing, and the average revenue for their top 20 customers increased from $17.4 million to $23.6 million. So a lot of the time what we're seeing with Palantir is once a company does business with them once and they sign a contract, when they renew it a second time, they're going to do larger contracts, they're going to spend more money, and this is a really good sign to see that the average revenue for customers is increasing for Palantir. That means people like their products, they're probably coming back and doing more, but also the average revenue for the top 20 customers is increasing, which means that their contracts are just getting bigger in general. They're working with bigger clients, bigger customers, which is absolutely huge moving forward. The revenue for the company has been growing over 50% year over year, and they're continuing to deliver on their results. They're continuing to get more and more contracts, and that is just going to be essential moving forward. One piece of criticism that Palantir has gotten is that they do work with the government. They work with a lot of government organizations, and many analysts are saying, well, they need to start working with corporations, and working with the government isn't always going to yield the highest results, the most revenue. But in my opinion, I think working with government and having government contracts is going to be essential for any company, especially with data, because if governments all around the world trust Palantir analyzing their data, using their data, well then small corporations or even large corporations will probably trust them to do the same thing. And I think it's just going to give them like a stamp of approval saying, well, we work with all of these governments around the world, with special forces, with the FDA, and if they trust us, then really any company can trust us. So in my opinion, I think this is all really great news. They still are growing their contracts with large corporations, but they also are growing government contracts. I think both of these are going to be essential for the company moving forward. And I think they're both really good signs for where the company is moving. So now let's talk about some of the big contracts they recently signed. One of them is Fujitsu Limited signs an $8 million contract as Palantir Foundry customer, and they became the first distributor of Foundry modules in Japan. So Palantir announced that it signed a 1-year contract with Fujitsu, an $8 million contract. And on top of all this, they will become the first distributor of Palantir's Foundry platform modules in the Japanese market. Palantir has been making major moves in the Japanese market recently over the last couple of years, and they even launched a joint venture with insurer Sompo in order to get a bigger footprint in the Japanese market. And that's what leads us to the second contract that they recently signed, which is a $22.5 million contract in Japan with Sompo Holdings for the real data platform for security, health, and well-being. So they signed another contract with them in their joint venture. So right now they got 2 more contracts, $8 million contract, $22.5 million contract. And really, while the numbers are good, it's another $30 million, that's not what's really important. What's really important, what I think is going to be essential moving forward, is that a lot of times when they get someone on for a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, they start re-signing and they keep doing business with Palantir. So I look at this more as not just a one-time $8 million contract or $22 million contract. I see this as generating recurring revenue for the company for years to come. And finally, let's talk about Palantir's stock price, what analysts are saying, where I see it going. So Palantir just recently received a $30 price target from Jefferies analyst Brent Thill. And this implies about a 20% upside from where the stock currently is at. And this is pretty big news. Palantir has skyrocketed since its IPO in 2020. A lot of people were hesitant on it, but finally the stock has started to level off a bit, and it's staying between that $25, $24, and $28 range. So it's been right in between there. Now analysts are starting to come out. They're liking these new contracts that Palantir is signing, and they think it's going to be a good play, a good buy into 2021 and into 2022. My opinion, I think Palantir is definitely a long-term play for any investor who believes in big data, thinks that data analytics is going to be important moving forward. I think Palantir is going to be a leader in this space, and we're already seeing this with the massive government contracts they're starting to sign. So let me know your thoughts on Palantir in the comments. I'd like to see if you guys are bullish or bearish on the company, what you think about it moving forward. But that's what's going on with the 2 new contracts they signed, as well as the price target upgrade. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get 4 free stocks, each valued up to $1,600, when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode.